Quick selection and magic wand. Hi guys, we continue to study the selection tools. Today we'll talk about the magic wand and about the quick selection. Let's continue the work we started last time. Here we'll need a magic wand. If last time we looked at tools that selected some geometric areas, then the magic wand selects pixels that are similar in color and tone. Let's see how it works. So, I have already taken the magic wand tool. It is located in the same place as the quick selection tool, which we have already talked a little. Let's start with the magic wand. It's very simple. For example, I have some object on a background and I need to remove this background. I just click on this background and as you can see, I have all the white pixels selected. Now if I press delete, white color will be deleted. It's that simple. And press the combination Ctrl+D in order to delete the selection. After that, we can, for example, paint some parts of this star. Just the same way, we take a magic wand and click. I use the eyedropper tool to take a sample and fill it in. After that, you can change the size and place it where you would like it to be. I got something like that. Let's talk about the settings of the magic wand. All of them are in the top menu on the left. First options allow us to edit and subtract different areas, but the most important parameter is the tolerance. Tolerance implies the number of pixels, close in tone and color that will be selected regarding the place that you selected as a sample. When the sample is point, then this is just one pixel with which everything will be compared. Well, let's see. Let's set 30. I take a magic wand and click somewhere here and look what I got. I have a certain range of pixels, a little lighter and a little darker. Let's try to reduce the tolerance. I will set 1 and I will click in some area. As you can see, the border of the selected area significantly narrowed. If I increase the tolerance to 50 and click somewhere, then the selected area becomes even larger. Let's see what the sample size means. By default, we have a point, that is, 1 pixel. But this may not always be the case. You can choose a certain number of pixels in length and width, which you can consider as a sample. Let's try to remove the background from the picture with the girl. I take a magic wand. Tolerance is 30 and I click somewhere in the free space of this background. And look, besides the background, some elements on clothes and on gloves have been selected too. There are a lot of pixels close in color to the one I choose. If we don't want this to happen, then firstly, we need to reduce the tolerance, and secondly, to put a check mark near continuous pixels. Then only those pixels that have a common border and located nearby and not pixels throughout the image will be selected. Let's cancel the selection. And secondly, to put a check mark near contiguous pixels. Then only those pixels that have a common border and located nearby and not pixels throughout the image will be selected. Let's cancel the selection. Let's choose contiguous pixels, click on the background, and look, I have a certain number of pixels selected, but they are all nearby. That is, pixels are not contiguous, are not captured. Now, if I want to add something else to this selected area, I'll definitely continue to create a selection. This button needs to be turned on, as it allows me to edit to the selected area. I will click here again. So, let's do it on this side, choosing the tolerance that will be most appropriate. I think the point sample will be better, and that's how I can select all the areas I need. So it is more or less selected. Here is something else left. Now we can press delete and cancel the selection. Now we have such a composition with a girl. We can of course somehow move it. See where it will look better. I left the girl there. Although, frankly, I have some questions about how the lights falls on her. But this is not the topic of our lesson right now. So let's not pay attention to this, and let's pay attention to the quality of our selected area. Let's zoom in and look, in some places it is clearly visible that we cut this girl out of some background. You can see sharp borders here. I would like to fix it somehow. What can we do for this? If we just try to blur the edges, it won't be good. Therefore, it seems to me that we need to trim a little bit this white edge. To make it clearer, I disable the layer that is located below. And let's select the background that is around the girl, because the magic wand selects pixels of the same tone and color, and our background is transparent. We just click on it and it is selected. And now we're using an option that is already familiar to us. Select, modify, and in this case we don't choose to contract, as last time, but to expand, and expand, for example, to 10 pixels. And you can see the edge of the selected area has shifted, but 10 pixels, of course, is too much to cut off this unnecessary white edge. Let's cancel it. Select, modify, expand, and we'll probably set 4. I think all the unnecessary parts will be deleted. Press delete, cancel the selection, turn on the background, and let's see what we have got. Well, it looks a little better already. By the way, all the same things that I did now could be done in another way. To do this, it is necessary to click Select Subject, and there shouldn't be the check mark near Sample All Layers. We will talk about it later and see what happens. I'm clicking Select the Subject, and now the girl is selected. The program itself determines the main subject of this background, which needs to be selected. And here we could just, on the contrary, narrow down the selected area and do the same thing. We can either select the background or select the girl using the option Select the Subject, cancel the selection. And let's talk about what Sample All Layers means. If I have this checkmark disabled, then the related pixels are selected only on the layer that I selected as the main one, as the active one. But if I put a checkmark next to Sample from All Layers, remove the checkmark next to contiguous pixels, and for example, click somewhere on the girl, then pixels on both the layer with the girl and background will be selected. Sometimes it is also necessary. By the way, I want to draw your attention to the fact it's better to put checkmark next to anti-alias, because it allows you to make your selection softer without such sharp angles that sometimes occur. We still have the select and mask option. It works the same for both magic wand and quick selection, and I suggest to practice it on the quick selection. We have already talked about quick selection, but today we'll discuss it in more detail. Unlike a magic wand, which simply selects pixels related in color, this selection recognizes the texture immediately, and in general, this is a more advanced magic wand, if I may say so. We will take the quick selection tool and let's look at its settings. We have already selected subjects with this tool. I will not repeat these actions. Let's see what we haven't done with it yet. For example, let's click Select Subject. After that, the software itself determines what we need to select and immediately selects it. But of course, there are some shortcomings here. Look, I have something extra here. So I press the Alt and remove the extra sections. And on the contrary, I didn't select something on some areas. And now we can try the Select and Mask option, which combines a magic wand and this tool. Turn it on, and let's look at what we can do. Firstly, I have a background prepared for this girl there right away. And we can choose the view mode. If we have selected on layers, as I have, then I immediately see how the selection of the object occurs and how it will look on the background. It is possible to choose the onion skin and thus enhance transparency. It will be like this. For example, we can choose overlay. You can look at all the options and choose the one that suits you best. Well, we'll leave on layers mode. We can zoom in and zoom out with dodge tool. I click on it. It can be invoked by pressing Alt. The icon changes to minus and it zoom out. You can also use the hand tool to move the image the way you want. If we zoom in, we will see that our selection is not quite perfect here, and in order to correct it, we take the Refine Edge brush tool and draw over this place. And we can see immediately all these shortcomings. So we can carefully look through all the image, like this, and remove all unnecessary. We can also smooth the edges, but it's not always visible. It depends on the quality of the image actually. We can make these edges more contrasting, and we can also feather them. Let's talk a little bit about feathering. Let's feather edges to make them look more natural, and we can create a small feathering like this. See what we got. The edges have become more blurred. Well, probably, maybe even too much. Maybe it's worth reducing it a little. Look, here we have such a white thing on our shoulder. Let's try to remove it. We will take the brush tool. We will take a brush with a minus sign. And you can see that this white thing is being removed. little by little. But this must be done more carefully on a part. That's it. This is some kind of blurring. So, I'm not going to try to make it perfect now. I think that the idea is clear to you. If we zoom out and look, it becomes clear that this white particle has been removed. We also have a lasso tool that allows us to edit something to our selection area. For example, I can take and draw such a thing. You see, the part of the background that I had has been restored. It is also convenient to do this using a path. And of course, in this case, the background should be turned on, so that you can see what you are selecting. We'll go back, cancel it all, and return to the On Layers mode. So we still have the Quick Selection tool. We can use it if we have not fully selected some areas. We can regulate them. The sample All Layers works the same as in the case of a magic wand, and we won't dwell on it. Let's look at another possibility that we have here. And look, if we select the Shift Edge option, then it will be the same contraction or expansion of the selected area that we already know. Let's shift it here. You can see how my edge has shifted. Let's cancel. Let's say that the selection of this girl has been completed. Click OK, and now I can, for example, delete the background. Or I can apply a mask, so that I still have the ability to edit this girl. So I edit a mask, and I get something like this. That's what we got as a result. You can probably move the girl, maybe somewhere if you want. You can mirror the girl, free transform, flip horizontally, and you can place it like this. And now let's move on to the homework. The first one is to finish what we already started doing last time, refine this image. The second task is to create such a collage with a magic wand. And the third exercise is to select the girl and place her on the background with a C, using Quick Selection. And our lesson is over. It was Peter Romanov and AIM School. See you next time.